I got sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. This shit isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in this store, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. And it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I got shit I gotta take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games. And then all day, throughout the day, she keeps sending her little racial shit. And then throughout the day, she keeps on, putting negative energy in the air, talking about people, gossiping about people. It's not funny, man.
My mama was a good person. She was the best mom anybody could ever ask for. My mama, she woke up every day and went to work for us. My mama died trying to take care of us. She died. My God. She was so good to everybody. A hard-working woman. So kind. If anybody needed help, she would give you her last. Give you the shirt off her back. She did not deserve that at all.
On the morning of July 10th, 2025, inside a McDonald's restaurant in East Point, Michigan, a routine workplace disagreement turned into a deadly encounter. 39-year-old manager Jennifer Harris sent 26-year-old employee Afeni Muhammad home early after a workplace dispute. Hours later, Muhammad returned to the restaurant wearing a mask and armed with a knife over 3 inches long. She entered through a rear door and attacked Harris inside the building, stabbing her multiple times. Eyewitnesses reported that Muhammad inflicted up to 15 stab wounds before a legally armed customer inside the restaurant intervened. The customer fired a single shot, stopping the attack, and then held Muhammad at gunpoint until police arrived. Harris was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 days before the attack, Muhammad had posted videos on Instagram accusing Harris of bullying and mistreatment. In those videos, she stated that something would be done about it.
I got sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. This shit isn't funny. Like, seriously, man, I got shit I gotta take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games.
The videos were reviewed by investigators and cited as evidence of premeditation. Muhammad was arrested on site and charged with first-degree premeditated murder and carrying a dangerous weapon with intent. Bond was set at $25 million with strict conditions of release, including GPS monitoring and a no-contact order with the victim's family. If you're captivated by real crime stories that peel back the layers of truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us as we uncover real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to the voiceless. Before we dive into today's story, we want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? And how do you feel as the story unfolds? Welcome to Deadly Crime Unmasked, the show where we expose the shocking crimes that rip through communities and the chilling secrets lurking behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications. You won't want to miss the gripping story that's coming up. Now, let's dive in.
And now we head over to breaking news, where we're learning the identity of the McDonald's employee who's accused of stabbing her manager to death on Thursday. In the last 30 minutes, we've obtained this booking photo for Afeni Muhammad. Now, she's expected to be officially arraigned in the next hour. Local 4's Lauren Kostick is live outside the courthouse where the arraignment is set to happen. Good afternoon, Lauren.
That's right, Jay. We're outside the 38th District Court here in East Point. And like I said, this is where that suspect will be arraigned on first-degree murder charges. We are told that is scheduled to start at 1 p.m. here, and the suspect will appear over Zoom from the Macomb County Jail. And like you said, we have now confirmed within the last few minutes the suspect's name. We are told her name is Afeni Muhammad. Police say a manager at the McDonald's on 9 Mile told Muhammad to go home early yesterday morning. She then allegedly left and then came back with a knife. Witnesses say a customer fired a shot to stop the attack and then held Muhammad at gunpoint until police could arrive.
Right now, friends and family are gathering at a McDonald's in East Point to honor the life of a mother of 6 killed in a stabbing.
That's right. Everyone is pretty much still in shock, but everyone's here for Jennifer Harris, as you guys can see right now. They're all here to pay their respects to this woman who sadly was stabbed in the face multiple times by an employee. There's going to be a balloon release that's going to be held shortly, but family, friends, co-workers, and community members who are still in shock are here to, of course, honor Jennifer, who was a single mother of 6. In the meantime, 26-year-old Afeni Muhammad is now charged with first-degree murder, carrying a dangerous weapon with unlawful intent, and then, of course, being a habitual offender.
She was a good person.
You can see just how heartbroken family members are. We're going to be hearing more from them, at 6 p.m. In the meantime, we are live in East Point. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Just heartbreaking. Okay, Victor, thank you.
Jennifer Harris, age 39, was a resident of the Detroit area in Michigan. She was a mother of 6 children, a role that underscored much of her life outside of work. Balancing her responsibilities as a mother and a career woman, Harris had dedicated over 15 years of service to McDonald's, working her way up to a managerial position. Within the McDonald's establishment located at 179219 Mile Road, Harris was recognized for her leadership role, overseeing staff management, daily operations, and customer service functions. These duties positioned her at the center of daily interactions with employees, which included assigning shifts, handling disputes, and maintaining order during business hours. Harris reportedly had a strict managerial style that occasionally led to friction with employees, including Afeni Muhammad. Some staff members viewed her as firm and direct in her supervision, which sometimes resulted in confrontations with those under her management. Afeni Muhammad, 26, lived in East Point, Michigan. Employed at the same McDonald's, Muhammad's presence within the establishment was that of a regular worker, responsible for typical staff duties under the supervision of management, including Harris. Muhammad maintained an active presence on social media, particularly on Instagram, where she often posted personal rants and commentary. These posts occasionally targeted her workplace environment and management, including direct criticisms of Harris. Muhammad's employment at McDonald's was marked by reported dissatisfaction with her treatment on the job. Though comprehensive records of prior disciplinary actions remain under investigation, it is clear that Muhammad had expressed frustration over a perceived unfair treatment by Harris. Allegations included claims of bullying and racial bias, which Muhammad vocalized through her Instagram platform. In the days leading up to the incident, Muhammad posted videos on Instagram alleging that Harris mistreated her and other staff members. One particular video included statements interpreted by authorities as direct threats, such as, "I'll be back," alongside commentary criticizing Harris's managerial conduct. These posts were publicly accessible, leaving a digital trail that later became key evidence in the legal proceedings against her. The tension between Harris and Muhammad stemmed from ongoing workplace disputes. These included disagreements over shift assignments, work performance, and disciplinary measures. Harris, as a manager, had the authority to enforce workplace policies and send employees home when necessary. This authority became the focal point of a critical conflict on July 10, 2025. Afeni Muhammad, McDonald's employee, allegedly left the restaurant earlier that day after being sent home by her manager, 39-year-old Jennifer Harris. Reports indicate that Muhammad left the workplace visibly upset following a workplace-related dispute. Following her departure, Muhammad is reported to have acquired a weapon, a knife with blade exceeding 3 inches in length. The selection of a knife of this size is considered significant as it meets the criteria for being classified as a deadly weapon under Michigan law. Muhammad reportedly took steps to conceal her identity by wearing a mask. The choice to wear a mask, though not uncommon, indicated an apparent intent to either obscure her face from recognition or surveillance cameras inside the premises. These preparatory actions, obtaining a weapon and disguising her identity, occurred before she returned to McDonald's, setting the stage for the violent attack that followed. Upon her return, Muhammad entered the McDonald's through a rear access point rather than the front entrance. This choice of entry suggests that she may have been attempting to avoid detection by customers or other staff members stationed at the front of the restaurant. Once inside, Muhammad confronted Jennifer Harris. This confrontation took place inside the establishment and reportedly escalated immediately into violence. Witnesses on the scene described how Muhammad used a knife she brought with her to stab Harris multiple times. Official reports state that Harris sustained up to 15 stab wounds during the attack. The repeated stabbing was carried out in quick succession, leaving Harris critically wounded on a restaurant floor. The location of the attack was in a public part of the workplace, not isolated from view. Other employees and possibly customers witnessed the assault. The nature of the attack, numerous stab wounds inflicted in a short period, left little opportunity for anyone on the scene to intervene before significant harm had been done. An armed citizen, legally carrying a firearm, was present at the location when the incident unfolded. This individual responded to the escalating violence by discharging a single warning shot. The purpose of this warning shot, according to witness statements and police reports, was to halt Muhammad's assault on Harris and prevent further injury or loss of life. Upon hearing the shot, Muhammad reportedly ceased the attack and attempted to flee the scene. She ran toward her vehicle parked nearby, possibly intending to escape before law enforcement arrived. However, the armed citizen pursued Muhammad and was able to detain her at gunpoint in the vicinity of her vehicle. The bystander maintained control of the situation until East Point police arrived on the scene. The armed intervention prevented Muhammad from leaving the premises and ensured that she was apprehended without further incident. Law enforcement officers from the East Point Police Department arrived promptly at the scene following emergency calls made by witnesses. Upon arrival, officers found Muhammad already detained by the armed citizen. Police took Muhammad into custody without resistance. During their on-site investigation, officers recovered the knife used in the stabbing. The weapon was taken as evidence and processed as part of the criminal investigation. Police secured the crime scene, cordoned off the area, and began initial questioning of witnesses, including other employees and customers who had seen the incident unfold. Jennifer Harris was critically injured during the assault. Emergency medical personnel were dispatched to the scene but were unable to revive her. Harris was pronounced dead at the location. The exact cause of death was pending confirmation by the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office. An autopsy was scheduled to determine the official cause of death and to document the nature and extent of the injuries sustained. Preliminary information confirmed that multiple stab wounds were the direct cause of Harris's death. The incident attracted immediate attention from local media outlets in the Detroit area. Reporters arrived at the scene to cover the unfolding situation, and initial reports focused on the unusual nature of the crime, a workplace dispute that escalated into a fatal attack inside a fast food restaurant. As details emerged, the story garnered coverage by national news organizations, including the Associated Press, People magazine, and CBS News. The focus of the media reports included key facts such as the relationship between the suspect and the victim, the nature of the conflict at the workplace, the actions of the armed bystander, and the swift response by law enforcement. Outlets highlighted the role of social media posts made by Muhammad in the days leading up to the incident, although this element was part of a broader narrative explored in later reports. The incident raised questions in public discussions about workplace violence, conflict management in fast food environments, and the legal implications of civilian intervention during active crimes. 2 days before the fatal stabbing of Jennifer Harris, Afeni Muhammad posted a series of videos and statements on her personal Instagram account. In these posts, Muhammad openly expressed grievances against Harris, accusing her of bullying behavior and alleged racial bias within the workplace. The content of the videos became a central focus for investigators and prosecutors as they evaluated Muhammad's motive and mental state leading up to the incident. In her video statements, Muhammad alleged that Harris created a hostile work environment by mistreating employees and singling her out for unfair treatment. She referred to Harris's management style as abusive and controlling. Muhammad claimed that Harris intentionally sent her home early from shifts and spoke to her in a demeaning manner. The post included direct language implying Muhammad's growing frustration, and in at least one instance, she warned that action would be taken against such behavior. One specific video featured Muhammad saying, "This isn't funny. Somebody about to do something about that." This statement became a key element in the prosecution's premeditation argument. The language suggested not only deep-seated resentment, but also the contemplation of retaliatory action. Furthermore, Muhammad's assertion that she would be back was viewed as a veiled threat, especially in light of subsequent events. The public availability of these Instagram posts before the murder provided prosecutors with evidence of potential forethought. The posts remained online after the incident, allowing law enforcement to secure them as digital evidence. These social media records formed part of the legal case to establish that the attack was neither spontaneous nor a heat-of-the-moment reaction, but pre-planned act fueled by perceived injustices at work. The East Point community, particularly those familiar with the McDonald's location, reacted strongly to the murder of Jennifer Harris. Local residents expressed a mix of shock and dismay that such an incident occurred in a familiar setting known for its family-friendly atmosphere. The sudden escalation of a workplace dispute into a deadly confrontation left many grappling with concerns over employee relations and conflict resolution within service industry environments. McDonald's staff who work alongside both Harris and Muhammad spoke anonymously to various news outlets, sharing insights into workplace dynamics. Several employees confirmed that Harris maintained a strict management style, but stated that such behavior was standard practice within fast food management. They emphasized that while disagreements occurred, none foresaw such a violent outcome. Some staff members described Harris as stern but fair, contradicting Muhammad's portrayal of her as a workplace bully. Local community leaders and activists took the incident as an opportunity to highlight broader issues of workplace violence. Public discussions emerged around the need for better conflict resolution mechanisms in the workplace and the importance of mental health awareness for employees facing stressful environments. Community forums and social media platforms saw increased conversations about how businesses handle internal disputes and the potential consequences of neglecting warning signs. Additionally, the incident reignited debates about the impact of social media on real-world actions. Many questioned how Muhammad's threatening posts went unnoticed or unreported before the crime. The case became a cautionary tale for both employers and the public regarding potential dangers of ignoring warning signs displayed on social platforms. Legal analysts and members of the public closely examined Muhammad's social media activity as details of the case became public. Prosecutors highlighted the Instagram posts as direct evidence of intent, positioning them as a foundation for the first-degree murder charge. The legal argument centered on the belief that Muhammad's social media behavior demonstrated a calculated mindset rather than a sudden, impulsive action. Defense attorneys, however, questioned whether the posts were sufficient proof of premeditation. They argued that social media rants, while concerning, often reflect emotional venting rather than concrete plans for violent action. This debate over the weight of social media content in criminal cases drew attention from both legal experts and civil rights advocates, sparking conversations about free speech boundaries and criminal liability. Public scrutiny intensified over whether employers and law enforcement should monitor employees' social media activity more closely, especially when threats or hostile language are involved. The case highlighted the blurred lines between personal expression and actionable threats in the digital age, prompting ongoing discussions about preventative measures in both corporate and legal settings. Following Muhammad's arrest at the scene, prosecutors filed two primary charges. First-degree premeditated murder, a charge carrying the possibility of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole under Michigan law. Carrying a dangerous weapon with intent, pertaining to Muhammad's act of bringing a concealed knife into the workplace with alleged intent to harm. Both charges reflected the prosecution's view of the crime as a deliberate and pre-planned act rather than isolated or accidental occurrence. Muhammad's initial court appearance occurred on July 11, 2025, where she was formally arraigned on the stated charges. During the arraignment, Muhammad entered a plea of not guilty. The court set her bond at $25 million, requiring cash or surety for release, signaling the severity with which the judiciary viewed the allegations. The bond amount reflected several considerations: the violent nature of the offense, the perceived risk to the community, the presence of digital evidence suggesting premeditation. Muhammad's legal team requested conditions for a potential bond, but the court maintained strict terms given the high-profile nature of the case. Should Muhammad meet the bond requirements, the court imposed the following conditions for release: mandatory GPS tethering to monitor her location at all times, prohibition of any contact with the victim's family, daily check-ins with pretrial services to ensure compliance, ban on returning to the McDonald's location or contacting any of its employees. These conditions were designed to prevent any further risk to the community or those involved in the case. 2 critical legal dates were set in the court calendar. Probable cause conference on July 23, 2025, to establish whether sufficient evidence existed to proceed with trial. Preliminary hearing on July 30th, 2025, where formal evidence presentation will begin, potentially determining if the case would advance to trial. In the days following the incident, the community organized multiple events to honor the life of Jennifer Harris. On July 14th, 2025, a balloon release took place in front of the McDonald's where Harris had worked and tragically lost her life. Community members, co-workers, friends, and family gathered to pay tribute. The event was marked by a silent remembrance and a moment of reflection. The balloon release symbolized a collective expression of loss within the East Point community. Beyond symbolic gestures, financial support efforts were initiated. Fundraisers and online crowdfunding campaigns, including a GoFundMe, were launched to provide for Harris's 6 children. The campaign description highlighted the children's immediate needs following the sudden loss of their mother. Contributions from both local residents and strangers reflected widespread concern for the welfare of Harris's family. The fundraisers aimed to assist with daily expenses, educational costs, and long-term financial security for the children left behind. On July 16, 2025, a no-violence rally was held in Detroit. The event took place at Divine Restoration Ministries and served as a public demonstration against workplace violence and community aggression. The organizers, consisting of community leaders, local activists, and religious figures, called for unity and nonviolence. The rally was structured around speeches, group discussions, and community outreach efforts. The primary purpose of the rally was to raise awareness about the dangers of unresolved workplace conflicts escalating into violence. The speakers addressed the importance of conflict mediation and the critical role of early intervention in preventing violent outcomes. The event also served to honor Jennifer Harris's memory, ensuring that her death would not be forgotten or dismissed as an isolated workplace incident. The prosecution placed significant emphasis on the social media activity of Afeni Muhammad in the days leading up to the attack. 2 days before the stabbing, Muhammad posted videos on Instagram expressing dissatisfaction with her treatment at work. In these videos, she accused Jennifer Harris of workplace bullying and racially motivated behavior. Muhammad's comments included vague threats and insinuations that she would take matters into her own hands. These social media posts were presented by the prosecution as evidence of motive and premeditation. The statements indicated forethought and a growing resentment that culminated in violent action. The prosecution argued that Muhammad's posts were not random outbursts but direct previews of her planned retaliation against Harris. Eyewitness accounts of the incident played a crucial role in establishing the factual sequence of events. Multiple employees and customers inside McDonald's at the time of the attack provided statements to law enforcement. These witnesses reported seeing Muhammad enter through a back door wearing a mask and armed with a knife. Statements from fellow employees confirmed previous workplace disputes between Harris and Muhammad. Several co-workers noted Muhammad's anger over being sent home earlier that same day. The combination of social media posts and eyewitness testimonies reinforced a narrative that Muhammad's actions were deliberate and calculated rather than impulsive. The prosecution's argument centered on 3 critical elements to establish premeditation. The knife used in the attack was not a workplace tool, but a personal item brought from outside. The prosecution highlighted that Muhammad returned to McDonald's with the weapon after being sent home, suggesting a planned intent to use it. Muhammad reportedly wore a mask upon re-entering the workplace. The prosecution cited this as an effort to conceal her identity during the commission of the crime. Though multiple co-workers recognized her, the act of masking was used as evidence of her intent to evade accountability. The prosecution referenced Muhammad's social media threats as direct indicators of her mindset. By presenting this digital evidence alongside eyewitness testimonies, they aimed to demonstrate a clear, premeditated decision to harm Harris. The murder of Jennifer Harris raised critical questions about workplace violence prevention. The case underscored the responsibilities employers have in managing employee conflicts and addressing grievances before they escalate. The situation highlighted the necessity for robust conflict resolution procedures within workplaces. Human resources protocols, grievance reporting systems, and mediation processes were discussed as essential tools to prevent similar incidents. The role of social media in forewarning potential violent actions came under scrutiny. The case suggested the importance of monitoring and addressing threats made online, especially when it pertained to workplace grievances. This led to discussions about whether employers should have protocols for reporting concerning social media behavior linked to employees. The involvement of an armed bystander who intervened during the attack introduced legal discussions about citizen actions in violent incidents. The armed customer who fired a warning shot and detained Muhammad was examined under Michigan self-defense and citizens arrest laws. The bystander's intervention, which potentially prevented further harm, was reviewed by law enforcement and deemed lawful under the circumstances. The legality of using a firearm in defense of another person was confirmed in this context. The incident sparked a broader debate within the community regarding the role of concealed carry holders in public safety. While some praised the bystander for quick action, others raised concerns about risks associated with civilian interventions during violent crimes. The debate centered on the balance between citizen responsibility and law enforcement authority. If the story gripped your heart and left you questioning the truth, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with others who need to hear it. For more chilling true crime stories that dive deep into the mysteries behind these tragedies, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest updates, investigations, and thought-provoking discussions. Thank you for being part of this journey with us as we uncover the truth and seek justice. Together, we can make a difference. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next one.